what do narcissists and ducklings have in common? I'll give you a hint. It's not their appearance or their charming personalities. Instead, it's a fascinating psychological concept called imprinting. Hi, I'm Dr. Jody Benabe, and I'm a Colorado licensed clinical psychologist who specializes in helping people who have experienced narcissistic abuse. Let's start by thinking about what imprinting is. In the animal kingdom, particularly among birds like ducklings, imprinting is a crucial instinct. When ducklings hatch, they form a deep emotional bond with the first moving creature they see, usually their mom. They follow this creature around, believing it to be their caregiver, even if it's not. This instinctive behavior is essential for their survival in the wild. Now let's draw a parallel between ducklings and narcissistic relationships, particularly in the idealization phase. In narcissistic relationships, the idealization phase is like the honeymoon period where everything seems perfect. Here's where the connection comes in. Narcissists employ a tactic called mirroring. During this phase, they reflect back to you everything you desire, value, and adore. It's as if they become your ideal partner, creating a seemingly unbreakable bond between the two of you. Now here's the twist. What happens when this idealization phase ends and you're subjected to narcissistic abuse, leading to the devaluation and discard phases? Just as the ducklings imprint on their caregiver, individuals in narcissistic relationships have imprinted on the mirage created by the narcissist. They've bonded deeply during the idealization phase. When the narcissist abruptly withdraws, discards, or devalues them, it's like taking away that caregiver from the ducklings. Victims of narcissistic abuse can feel lost, confused, and desperate to reunite with the idealized version of their partner, much like the ducklings long for their caregiver. To fully grasp the impact of mirroring and imprinting in narcissistic relationships, we need to understand attachment theory and a phenomenon known as trauma bonding. Attachment theory explains how our early relationships with caregivers shape our emotional bonds and interactions in adulthood. In narcissistic idealization, the mirroring technique creates an intense attachment. The narcissist becomes the caregiver of our emotional needs. Now let's talk about trauma bonding. This term describes a deep, often inexplicable connection that forms between an abused person and their abuser. In narcissistic relationships, the transition from idealization to devaluation and discard can be incredibly traumatic. Yet just like the ducklings imprint on their caregiver, survivors often find themselves emotionally bonded to their narcissistic partners despite the pain they inflict. So what does this all mean for us as humans, and what can we learn from our feathered friends? Well, it highlights the undeniable power of emotional bonds in our lives, whether formed through evolutionary instincts like imprinting or complex psychological mechanisms like mirroring and attachment. Just as the ducklings imprint on their caregiver, we can find ourselves emotionally imprinted on the idealized version of our narcissistic partner. Understanding this connection helps shed light on the complexities of narcissistic relationships and the challenges survivors face when trying to move on. Because the reality is, ducklings are harmless, narcissists aren't. Remember, awareness is the first step towards healing and empowerment. Take care of yourself, stay strong, and be sure to seek support from trusted sources. Thanks.